columnist. We are pleased to be joined by former SU star Oronde Gadsden as we get set for day 2 of the NFL draft. Oronde, it's great to have you on. I know it's a busy time for you. Appreciate you finding a few minutes for us. How are you doing today? I mean, tell us a little bit about the emotions right now that you're experiencing as you wait to hear your name called.
Hey, thanks for having me. I just think you get a little nervous just waiting on your name to get called and just waiting throughout the day. You got to wait all day for that to happen. So you're just waiting for that call. The whole process, though, has been, great. Been able to meet a lot of people throughout the way and, get to find out some new things about teams and meet some new players and coaches, too.
Well, since you brought up the process, take us through the process, from NFL Draft Combine to, pro day workouts and meeting with teams. And what has stood out to you along the way, throughout this draft process?
How different it is than, actually playing football and actually getting ready to play football. Because going to the Combine, you don't really do much of that stuff. It's really interviews and, the athleticism, like testing. Like it's not much of, putting your pads on and playing actual football. You already had your chance to do that during the season. So that process with that. And then after, it's just, getting on Zooms, if teams want to, they work you out or they'll bring you up to their spot. But you just want to, have your IQ ready, know your plays from the season before, and just, be ready for that call whenever the time comes.
What have teams told you? What's the feedback been like through this process?
Are you talking like a pick or like about me? Or
in terms of what they like about you, and in terms of what you bring to the table, in terms of maybe things that they say, okay, at the next level around it, we're going to need you to do this, and this, and add this to your game. What have they kind of told you about Oronde Gadsden, the football player? Pros and cons.
They definitely told me about all the good things I add to any team in the passing game. Being in the slot. Kind of being able to be placed to wherever throughout their offense, and just all the things that I've done in college that have got me to this point. And then the cons is just working on, being a tight end and blocking, getting my hand in the dirt and just, moving people around.
I'm sure your dad has been able to provide you, quite a bit of advice, over the years. What has he kind of told you about playing at the next level and what that's going to be like?
He was a guy that had a different process of getting into the league. So I've been, talking to him and a bunch of people that he's played with, some of his, friends that have gotten drafted that have gone through the same, process that, after you get drafted, you got, this many weeks until you got to get up to rookie mini camp and how long of a year it is and all those things. So I've been talking to him and his friends about, they've just been good, giving me the opportunity to know what's coming before it actually happens. You
were saying that it's nerve-wracking waiting for your name to be called. Can you give us an idea of, how you've been spending the last couple of days? Where you're watching the draft, how you're kind of dealing with all the waiting? Because I'm sure that it's tough. It's also, it's exciting. There's got to be a lot of nervous excitement, I would imagine.
Yeah, usually I just, wake up, go work out, and then I'll just be waiting around at home with, my parents just waiting for whenever that came. So, we worked out today. Now we just waiting until, the draft comes on tomorrow, see if my name gets called tonight, and then probably doing the same thing tomorrow. Going to work out in the morning and then, see what happens between 12 to 4.
Can you give us an idea of, how many teams you met with during the pre-draft process? Do you have a feeling about, maybe a handful of teams that really, really like you, or where does that stand right now?
You don't really know with that because, it's not like recruiting, like college recruiting. You don't get to pick the team. They pick you. So, it could be a team that, never talked to you before, which, some people have told me stories of that happening. Teams that they've never, been in contact with, or teams that they might have been on Zoom with one time or talked with at a bowl game or at the Combine once, and then they ended up, selecting them. So, I've talked to most of the teams, probably like about 22 of them, and just you never know. So you just wait and see who calls.
We kind of saw that last night, right? I mean, didn't they say with Travis Hunter that Jacksonville really didn't have many conversations with him at all? And then here they pull off this huge trade on draft night with the Browns, and they end up picking Travis Hunter. So you're right. It sounds like it truly could be anyone. I'd imagine you're just excited to get started. Is there a part of the country you want to be in? Do you want to go warm weather? Do you or is it just truly whoever picks me, I just can't wait to get there and get started? Is that kind of your mentality right now?
Yeah, I'm just ready to go wherever. Obviously, it'll be great to always be around warm weather, but it will be a time in the playoffs where it comes and you got to travel to another team that's going to be cold and you got to play through that too. So it's never just you wanting to play in the warm weather. There's two sides to it.
You were one of 5 guys from Syracuse invited to the NFL Draft Combine. The likes of LaQuinn Allen and Kyle McCord, Elijah Clark, Fadil Diggs there as well. How much have you stayed in touch with those guys during the process? Well, you're all in different cities, meeting with different teams and whatnot. Have you been able to keep up to date with those guys and kind of compare notes as you go through it?
Yeah, we'll talk to each other about what we've seen from each team, especially if we're about to meet with them. We talk to each other about like every other day. So I mean, we always stay in contact and we're always talking.
Have you gotten any advice from Coach Fran? As you told him that you were going to enter your name into the portal and whatnot, have you been able to keep in touch with any of the folks back here? Or Coach Fran in particular, did he give you any advice as you get ready for the next level?
Yeah, just keep working and keep doing the things that got me to the place that I'm at now. Just keep grinding, keep working on your weaknesses, make them so you can just be that best possible player you could be at all times.
What about Coach Babers? Have you heard from him, the guy who actually brought you here to Syracuse?
No, I haven't heard from him in a while. No.
Fans want to know if you're healthy. You're feeling fully healthy right now, and are you ready to kind of hit the ground running whenever whenever your first mini camp is?
Oh yeah, I'm 100%. I'm ready to go as soon as the team called me.
That's the right attitude, right? That is the right attitude. Well, listen, Oronde, it's been great catching up with you. I guess before we let you go, do you have any sort of message for the SU fans that are listening and Orange Nation that's supported you the last several years? Anything you want to say to them?
I just want to thank them for all the support that they've shown throughout my 4 years being at Syracuse, and all the love they've shown. Even when times got hard, when the season wasn't looking good, when I was injured, coming back, getting this new head coach that took us to the promised land. So I mean, thank you for all that.
All right, well said, Oronde. And, again, I know it's a busy time for you. We really appreciate you giving us a few minutes on day 2 of the draft. Best of luck. It's been a pleasure covering you here in Syracuse, and we can't wait to see what's next for you.
Thank you.
All right, Oronde Gadsden, our guest on the show. And with that, we'll take a timeout. 315-437-7644 if you'd like to check in. We'll wrap things up next on ESPN Radio.